right, Kurt?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, who else we have?
Kim's here.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
Good, Kurt. How are you?
I'm living the dream. Thank you. Living the dream with the twins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sean just joined.
Hi, Sean.
I think he's on mute.
No, off, but I'll be
You're-
on and off for a little bit.
No problem.
Sounds like a plan. All right, we just need one more member, and we can kick it off. You have a minute or two?
Yeah, Kurt, if I ever forget this meeting, send me a text because last time I was just home, totally forgot about the meeting. So one of you guys just shoot me a text if
Yeah.
I don't jump on.
I know. I actually zoned out on Monday myself. I forgot there was a meeting on Wednesday. It happens, you know. Yeah.
Tanya, I got my oil today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was about
Brandon,
half.
Brandon called, so I figured I'd send yours at the same time.
Yeah, I was at like half, so that worked out okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How's girls' practices going up at Gilbert there, Kurt?
It's different. I mean,
Yeah.
girls have to wear masks during
Yeah.
the games and all that, so it'll be different. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's a learning.
I'm actually surprised we're still going. I would have thought, one kid gets COVID or anything like that, we're down for 14 days.
Yeah, I read that newspaper article about Chippewa, and I guess this morning there were 20, not sports related, but I guess, they had 20 students go to some type of function or party or something over the holidays and ended up shutting the whole school down, going remote, because, they is spreading like wildfire. So.
You guys super busy at work with the syringes and all that stuff and the testing stuff?
It's always like that. If we could create the 8th day, we'd take that 9th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kim, can you ping Alicia and see if she's going to join?
I just texted her.
Okay, good. Thank you. And we haven't heard from Brian. I know Jamie is not feeling well tonight, so I'm going to take meeting minutes. And Alan's recuperating from the storms over the last couple of days. So he dropped me a note this morning. So we're waiting for Diane and Alicia. So you want to text Diane? I don't know if I've got her text or message or not.
I don't believe I do.
If I've got her
Someone
here.
messaged me to send them the link. They didn't say who it was. I sent it, so I don't know. Was it Kim or Sean?
Wasn't me.
No.
All right.
Kim?
Was not me either.
Okay. Someone messaged me. I don't know who it was. They gave it to them, so hopefully they join. I don't know who it was.
Let me see. Well, give them a couple more minutes here. Somebody may be having some technical difficulties. I don't have Diane's cell number here on my phone.
Diane's coming into the meeting if she's here, Kurt.
Diane Rand?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Then we can get going. We've got a quorum of 5. That's good. Yeah. Is Diane on right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we'll get started. Diane, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, good. So we'll get started. I'd like to call our meeting of 2/3/21 to order at 7:05. I am going to be taking meeting minutes tonight. At this point, hopefully everyone received the 1/6/21 meeting minutes from Jamie today. If everyone could take a minute, or if you already haven't, take a quick look at that. And then I will accept a motion for acceptance or changes to those meeting minutes as presented.
Hey, Rob, you mind taking them? Go downstairs.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion on the 1/6 meeting minutes at this point?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, that was Diane?
Yep.
All right, anyone want to second that motion, please?
I'll second.
All right, Sean, thank you. All those in favor of meeting minutes as presented, is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So we'll say everyone's in favor. Thank you very much. All right, is any, I don't believe we have any other individuals joining the meeting under public comment. So at this point, does board members want to take an opportunity under public comment for any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item 4, which is our agenda review. As presented, everyone has a copy of the agenda, I'm assuming, at this point in time. Anyone not have a copy that we need to review what we're going to be talking about tonight? Okay, well, no changes for the agenda at this point in time, so we're going to move right to item 5, which is Chairman's report. I got a couple items I just want to review very quickly with everybody, and some questions also probably coming out of that. So if everyone's aware or not aware, we have our town 250th celebration coming up this year. I know that there is a committee that is working on that. This is kind of just a sound out to the board. We have not been asked, unless I haven't been officially asked to for the Recreation Department to support any activities. I don't know if we are going to be asked to support any activities or we should consider supporting as needed. But Tanya, have you anyone contacted you about that specifically at this point in time?
You hear me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can.
Okay. No one reached out to me.
All right, so it's just kind of a watch out, and or if we want to consider as we learn more about the celebration or celebrations, if there's something that we want to do, it's
Yeah,
something.
I mean, Candyman mentioned it last year, but she hasn't brought it up. I mean, with
Right.
COVID, it's tough, so I don't know what they plan.
Yeah, so just it's kind of a watch out. I think we just need to be aware of whether anything materializes or not. We will find out. The other, what got you live and in person, do we have any board members this year with any terms expiring?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not in my office tonight.
All right, could you verify? I don't
Yeah.
think we do, but I'm not 100% sure. So I would like if you could check on that. And once again, we have, if there are board members with terms expiring this year, and if they do want to sign up for more fun in the sun with us. There, we have a form letter more or less already drafted that you just plug and play. We can get that done at our next board meeting.
Okay, do you have Terry Hall's email? I noticed that you emailed Lori's old email. Do you have
I-
Terry
Lori
Hall's?
Lori is officially gone.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
in South
Yeah.
Carolina.
Okay, that's what I figured. So Terry took her spot.
Terry Hall, yes.
Yeah, okay, and I think somebody, I saw her email, so I'll keep her on correspondences accordingly moving forward.
Yep.
All right. All right, next item very quickly, I just want the board to be aware of is, and I mentioned last month is, surrounding communities are starting to gear up for registrations for the springtime, summer baseball, softball. We haven't been officially, there hasn't been a meeting called with all the communities at this point in time. But I do anticipate that to happen very shortly. Joe Nichols will keep me apprised of what's going on that. I think some of the challenges, though, that we're going to have, at least for our community, it may be a challenge, is that I think probably, COVID related, how we're going to manage with the kids, with batting helmets and bats and equipment and not sharing and sanitizing. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a big thing for us to accomplish this year with a volunteer base. Once we understand what all the surrounding communities are doing, hopefully we do get a chance to play this spring, summertime period. So I think by our meeting in March, I will have much more details to share with the board. But I do see this being a big issue for us to manage in the upcoming year. But we're going to do what we need to do if we can pull it off. We missed last year. We missed. I don't think we want to miss 2 years in a row if at all possible. So any questions on that? So I'll have some more in March. Once I get a follow-up from Joe Nichols. The last item I just want to make everyone aware of, and Tanya's going to probably mention it in her report tonight, is that we have yet to get a response back from Cindy or Bruce in regard to the January 7th letter that our recreation director sent regarding the anticipated or recommended give back to the town for this fiscal year. So at this point, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later, I think I will be sending out a follow-up correspondence to Bruce and Cindy, trying to get some insight into, what's going on with the recommendations that the board has made regarding the return of $5,000 potentially versus the normal 20. So we do need to have that information or some guidance on that sooner than later at this point, as we set up for the upcoming year. So at that point, I think that's all I just wanted to bring the board up to date on. Does the board have any questions for me? Any board members? Anything I went through? Okay. So hearing none there, I'll move to item 6 on our agenda, which is a combination of, where we are in our activities for the winter time period, what's going on with COVID, and roll right into your director's report.
Okay, so a little update about COVID-19. CIAC did open up to basketball and basketball programs to start. So as we know, the high schools and middle schools are now practicing and are going to be allowed to play games. We are not doing any basketball programs. One, we don't have any place to do the programs. The schools basically said that the schools are school use only. They don't want any outsiders in. So they're just going to have their programs, and that is all. So the schools are basically a no-go for I'm assuming the rest of the year at this point. The Boy Scouts reached out to me. They are going to be using the building Thursday nights for the month of February. We're kind of just going month by month. They'll probably use it until it gets warm enough out that they can do their meetings outside. Karate is still going well. They meet Monday nights. I went about 3 weeks ago. They're all spaced out. They're all in their own space. Everyone has their masks on. They have no issues. So that program's going very well. Fencing started back up. They have a very small class, maybe about 6 kids, 6 adults, and same thing, they're fully armored. So no issues there with COVID. Other than that, everything is on a standstill. Kind of waiting to see what's going on with summer so we know what to hire for lifeguards and summer camp. But besides that, I mean, Kurt Root, we should start talking soon about softball. I think if we run it the same way we did it last year, I think everything went smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, we only had a couple people that had, came down with COVID, and it didn't spread among anybody. So what we were doing seemed to work. So, we'll
Right,
take
right.
the
I
same
think you did that.
precaution.
Right. I think you did the tracing very well. I think you handled every situation, moving teams, skipping a week and everything else was the ideal way to go.
Yep.
So we'll talk probably like maybe the end of this month, start figuring it out. Because you start what, in April?
May, like the second
May.
week of May.
All
Yeah.
right. So at the end of the month, me and you will talk, and we'll probably just go with the same form as last year.
Okay.
Have teams sign that and go from there.
Perfect.
Other than that, that's all we really have going on. So to touch base with Kurt Williams stuff earlier about the give back to the town, we're kind of locked in at that number because we really don't have revenue coming in. We don't have programs to run to make any of this money. So Kurt, if you want to send an email to them, just follow up on my emails and see
Yeah,
where we stand.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an inquiry and in behalf of the board, just saying, hey, we need some direction for planning purposes. Just as you mentioned, we anticipate lack of revenue coming in. And, once again, we want to make sure we do what we need to do for the remainder of the year accordingly. So,
Right. If you could also add maybe moving forward, because we just submitted our budgets, how are they going to budget and what they're going to do for next year? Are they going to keep it at the 20, knowing that we are in lack of programs, or are they going to come up with like a different number, and then if things change, we'll go back up?
yeah, I'll make an inquiry around that too in my note to them, which kind of gets into just a quick comment in regard to you mentioned that you gave them your budget numbers basically.
Mm-hmm.
And was it the same format as filed last year?
Yeah, 100% the same. We have a budget analyst that is an outsider that is
Yeah.
working for Carolyn's spot. So they hired someone temporary outside. It was the same format. They did not send out any capital improvements or capital projects for this year.
Okay.
So that was
Well-
one part that was missing. So we did not submit anything because it wasn't asked.
Well, I think we'll talk a little bit later on as we get down under the 015 account review and the project list here. I think we'll bring that back up because I think at least we're going to want to submit some stuff for people to make sure that they're aware that there are things that we would like to do rather than just as we met last year with Bob about some things. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. So anything else?
So I mean, that's where we stand with programs. Going forward, I mean, did everyone get the chance to look at my Easter egg idea?
I did.
Yes,
Yeah.
And what were people's thoughts?
I'm not sure I understand it entirely.
Okay. So it's basically an Easter egg hunt that the parents are going to set up on their own. So we would supply the eggs. They would stop by. We'd do like a drive-through. We'd give them the eggs and the paperwork. So basically, I would pick a family member, a neighbor, a friend. I would have like, because I'm a kid, I would have my parents set it up like, hey, we're going to do the You've Been eggs. It's basically like Ding Dong Ditch, where you ding the
What?
doorbell and you run.
Say that again.
Like Ding Dong Ditch.
Never played that game. You're predated.
All right. So anyways, you leave it on their doorstep and that you hid 5 eggs in their backyard, the kids have to go out and basically do a scavenger hunt for those eggs. Once they find all 5 eggs that you hidden, you've put on your door that you've been egged, and then you have to do it to 2 other homes. And it has to be family, friends, or neighbors.
So,
Why are you doing this on a neighbor's home instead of your own?
Well, you have to hide it at like a friend's house. So like I would hide eggs at your home for your kids to find. And then you would hide it at like Diane's house for her kids to
Oh,
find.
it's for the
And
kids
so
in
on
the
and so
household.
forth.
Okay. All right.
It's like
And
a
it just
surprise
kinda-
gift.
It
Yeah.
kind of just keeps it going, and like once you find your eggs, it's like, oh, who can I egg? Whose house? Who's like my best friend? And you go to like your friend's house or your like a family member's, and you do it to them.
My kids had it done for them for Halloween one year and they had a great time. What I liked about yours is that you said to make the phone call first,
Mhm.
which I think is perfect because when they did it to my house, they let my dogs out of the fence.
Right. Yeah,
You
I
know,
was trying to think of
spent the
ways
night
that
chasing
people know
dogs.
they're not trespassing. That the parents need to be like, hey, we're gonna do this to your house at this time, and that way they know to bring their kids outside and they're not shocked. You know.
so where did you find out about this? Because I'm assuming other
I
communities.
honestly was just looking up different ideas online for alternative waves for Easter egg hunts during the pandemic.
Sure.
And this one, it wasn't exactly this. I kind of took this idea and another idea and just threw them
Okay.
together.
All right.
I did run it by Bob. He did like the idea
Yeah, it's
as
better.
well.
It's good. It's, better than, having our Halloween trunk or treat going through the cemetery. So that I think we'll be in better
Right.
shape.
Well, then we have 2,000 Easter eggs that we really need to get rid of. They,
Yeah.
the company said they have a shelf life of 2 years, so we got to get rid of them this year.
So do they win anything if they have a special egg? Are they,
No, it's just
it's
like,
just planting the egg, just hiding the eggs and,
yep. And I just picked the number 5. I mean, we can give out more eggs. I mean, the one that I found was 1 egg, like 1 golden egg the people hide. But I figured we'd give them at least 5.
Yeah. I mean, you got, how many you have? You got 1,000?
I think we got 1,000.
Yeah.
So each home would get enough for 2 houses, so 10 each. So that's my idea. To advertise it, I mean, it's basically gonna be put on Facebook. Hoping the Board of Ed will send out emails, or I can hand out information to the schools if they're in person. And then just emails. And then we would need someone to volunteer to be the Easter Bunny to help hand out the eggs. So my thought process is on that Thursday, we would just sit outside. If it's raining or whatever, we just put a canopy over us, cars just drive in, hand them a bag of 10 eggs, couple sets of the papers, and they just drive off. So that
And
way there's no contact.
What date would that be? Thursday, what?
I was thinking Thursday, April 1st, between like 4 and 6. So people are out of work or can do it on their way home.
Any other comments from any board members on this recommendation? We're trying to, okay, I think it's good. I think it's, once again, it's depending upon how much participation you get, it's
Yeah.
better than nothing at this point. So
Right.
I
and-
would say let's proceed with it,
all right.
putting it together.
So I'll talk to Jamie to see maybe if her husband wants to volunteer for the helping out with the Easter Bunny part.
Yeah, and or if you need me, just let me know. I'll put it on my schedule.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
That's why
Um,
on that.
Other than that, for activities, that's really all I have right now.
Okay.
Kind of at a standstill. We don't really have space to really do anything. We're gonna probably wait until it's warm out. I know men's basketball is a little disappointed. They can't use Gilbert since basketball opened up. So we are looking into doing possible spring season outside in the new court.
That's a good idea.
So
Kurt, what do you think about that? Kurt Roop?
I saw the post. I saw comments on there. It sounds like there's people interested. So with that said, I think it's a good idea. Sometimes outside, I don't know, people get hot headed inside the gym. I just wonder if we'll run into any problems outside where, I don't know, hopefully not.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't think that we would get as many teams as you had last year or the year prior.
No, we would put a 10 team cap on it.
Yeah.
Just for scheduling purposes and so that the court's not tied up for too long.
Sure. All right, that's a good idea. Would we anticipate following the same guidelines that the high school is following with masks or not?
If
I mean-
that's how it stays, then yes, but it's an outdoor sport, so it might be a little bit different, but we'll have to wait to see what kind of the guidelines bring come we wouldn't start this until May.
Okay,
So
so that,
whatever the guidelines are come May, we'll follow, but we've got plenty of time.
all right, well, that's good. Diane, you want to see if George wants to get a team with me and we'll have old timers?
You can do Old Timers Day, sure.
Old time.
He misses playing in the morning, I'm sure.
I don't think
All
you guys
right.
can be running around with masks on in the heat.
No, I know, I don't think so either, Kurt.
All right, good. That's good. So let's if nothing else there in item 6, let's move to item 7, which is I know you've been working, Tanya, on the ordinances and regulations to recreation. Before you dive into that a bit, I did want to ask a question because it wasn't clear to me was there a conversation around Howland Beach at one of the last selectmen's meetings or not?
I think off the table there was.
Off the table. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I didn't hear back from anybody.
No,
nor do
I think they're really leaving it up to us at this point.
Well, I think I'm going to take, I think I'm gonna draft a note and find out because they asked us, they kind of asked us on the spur of the moment to give input, so on and so forth. And then, which we did. And now there's nothing in return except dead silence.
Right.
I think I would like, if the board is fine, I would like to, I'll drop a note to Melissa on that just to get some guidance. So the board, we kind of know what's going on. I'd rather know that than not know anything. So how does other board members feel about that?
Fine with
Sounds
me,
good.
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I think so.
All right, everyone's good with that. So I'll make a note here. I'm going to draft a note and I'll draft an email to Melissa be about the Howland Beach, because once again, you're coming up into hiring time period, which I'm assuming has got to start in the March, April time period.
Correct.
So we, once again, either, it's going to come back to us and we're going to have further conversations on it, or they're going to take action with us and guidance. I'm not quite sure. So I'll draft an email and get that out and copy everybody on it, and we'll see what response we get back from Melissa. And I'm going to I'll CC town manager on that also. Okay, good. Okay, so let's you go right into the ordinance and regulations. I know you sent a copy out to everybody yesterday or today. So
Okay, so that is the latest copy that Melissa has. I believe I put the update in that you guys mentioned about this cigarette part and the something else, Kim, you were mentioning it. I think I copied and pasted to all the right sections to make sure everything was kind of uniformed. If you guys just want to double check it, if we have to add anything. I did have a brief conversation with Melissa today over Messenger. I kind of just asked, told her that we had the meeting tonight. Where do we stand with the ordinance changes? She said everything looks good. We can meet next week and finalize everything, and selectmen can vote next meeting. So
And-
that was the last conversation I had with her about 2 o'clock today. So I'm gonna wait to hear from her to set up a meeting for next week so the Board of Selectmen could vote on move things forward.
Okay, so, I think you mentioned that, I think there were just a few things that, based on our last meeting that, we decided to, just, put into all the, sections here, correct?
Correct.
All right,
And then if someone wants to just double check, like, making sure things are spelled correctly, I don't know, is anyone an English major that could really proofread it?
I
that's
think
James.
Sean's
Sean?
real good at that.
Yeah, Sean's good with our mission statement. That was good. Sean and
Happy to look through it.
All right, that'd be awesome. Yeah, if you want
Right,
to
yeah.
just make sure I got the right words in there, correct spelling would be great because I
Alright.
am no English major.
Do you have, can you,
wordsmith.
got it, forget it. I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you. And feel free, just correct it and then send it back to me. Like, I trust you 100%.
Will do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. All right. Anything else, we want to chat on about the ordinance changes here that we're going to send up to the selectmen at this point, other than, Sean's going to, wordsmith it and send back to Tanya any changes, to, make sure it, grammatically is good. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, and I know you already mentioned the dollar amount, but let's move to item 8, which is the 015 account. So, I think you mentioned that, we are currently at $92,000, I think, right? Is that what you said? Okay. So on the 015 account, we are at roughly $92,000. So, as you mentioned prior, we, if we plan at this point, whether it's 20 or it's 5, so we're gonna fall somewhere between, if we
Sure.
do nothing
You,
between now
I'm
and
calling-
then.
or answer your phone. I'm calling you and step away for a second.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Can you get away from the computer for a second? Okay, sorry about that. No, Kurt, you're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. So, as we mentioned that in the 015 account, we have many accounts in there built up in the 015, and it's about $92,000 at this point. So based upon the feedback we get, whether it's 20,000 we need to give back or 5,000, we're going to fall somewhere between, roughly 200, or excuse me, $72,000, or somewhere about, in the, $86,000 to $87,000 range. Is that correct at this point?
Correct.
All right. Other than, any other expenses between now and when we have to give that back, which is going to be in the middle of June, or the last end of June, correct?
Yeah, right now we don't have anything scheduled to spend, so unless we come up with something or I see something that is needed and deems fitted, as of right now, the only thing that we would spend is if we have any programs that start up for program fees.
Right. Which, once again, we're not sure what's going to happen with summer camp, right? And this kind of caught us, with the COVID and everything, kind of caught us off guard last
Correct.
year. with COVID, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had to take some dollars from that 015 account to get the program started, or it kind of hit us because we didn't typically get that money in time, and we had to pay the 20. How did that play out last year? I forget.
Well, we paid the 20 from the year before,
Okay.
and then that money just starts up the program, buys the t-shirts, buys certain things to get the program running.
Okay. All right. And so I think, one of the things that we need to understand is that's why I want to send that note out to Bruce and Cindy to get some guidance so that we can plan accordingly for things that are in the 015 account and items that either the rec department needs basically to buy, and or things from our project list that we're going to be talking about in a moment. So any questions from any board members on anything on the 015 account discussion?
Oh,
Okay, good. All right. So next item, which we talked about at the meeting in January, was basically the review of our project list. So everyone, I sent out last week, I think, losing track of days, our project list. So the last time that we officially reviewed this, and time flies, was October of 2019. So it's been a year and 3 months, give or take, that we have gone through this. Where we left off is that we, just to refresh everybody, we spent a number of months going through this, fine tuning it, and then actually ranking everything. Took some time. And so we ended up going to the last couple pages of the document. The ranking outcomes, we had A, ranking number of items which were important improvements to programs that may, pass the end of useful life, or they're safety related. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items that we kind of ranked as A. We had B ranking, which was just basically general improvement to programs that may be nearing the end of life. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 items there that we had identified. And then we had the remainder, which was C, which we felt, which were primarily larger ticket items, that there would be maybe little improvement to programs, or they would definitely require a bigger significant investment other than what the board could put forth in their normal budget cycle. And we had their listing as Cs. I think we had 7 items. So as we mentioned, the budget cycle, last time that we talked about this was in the October to December time period of 2019. And Tanya and I met with Bob Geiger in February of 2020, and we presented him this list prior to the budget cycle starting. I feel that it's very important that we represent this in some format as we're coming into the budget cycle, or if there's things that we need to add to this list, because we need to be able to keep this on the top of the net in regard to saying, here are things that the board feels are important for our programs accordingly. In the last year or two, we did complete the tennis court resurfacing, and then we also completed the activities, the lighting, and the resurfacing at the basketball courts, which was completed. So what are the thoughts of the board members here? We have, once again, if we went back and just had a quick look at what we ended up ranking for A here, and we'll just go through those real quick. I don't know I know the scoreboards, that was something we ranked as high. I know flagpole lighting, I don't know if we've completed. Is everything good down there? That's something we should do, in my opinion.
Well, what we purchased, it didn't end up working.
Yeah. I mean, So I think I think of one thing that's low dollars. It's a great thing for the 015. I mean,
Right.
to improve lighting of our American flagpoles and everything. I don't know, what are
Right,
the
yeah,
board?
the lighting that Jim Welcome got, it didn't work.
Well,
Why
I
didn't
think,
it work?
Set up. What was that, Sean?
Why didn't it work? What didn't work
It,
about it?
it, I don't think where the light was and where it was hitting was like bright enough and really hitting it. I think it was more for like something that was outside your home versus something as high as that we had. I'll check back with Alan during the course of the week. I know he was the one that was researching it to see kind of if he found something that was more practical, and if so, we would possibly have to hire a company or see if Public Works can help us out with the height.
yeah, I think that's most definitely. I knew that there were some issues with, how well it was working or not. And I don't know how much money we spent on it the first time. I don't think it was a lot of dollars.
Minimal. Yeah,
was
it was
very-
minimal.
I mean, we really should get that done, in my opinion, if it's not working well. And then, as the next item here is once again, the dugout replacements. This was one of the items that we presented to Bob Geiger last year to entertain getting into for capital. And it didn't make it through. It didn't make it through the process. And as you mentioned, this year, we're not even sure. They didn't even ask you for any capital items. So I think what I'm going to do is if the board is good, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to resubmit this document to Bob, and I'm going to reference, the comment about our meeting last February. And, if there are dollars available or a combination of dollars, whether it's capital and expense or vice versa, we really should be looking to, entertain some of these items, at least on our A list, at least. As I said, we kind of focused the discussion around Walker Field. Those dugouts really are starting to become a safety issue down there.
They are.
So I think that's what I would be recommending on this to the board members here.
Monday, I'm gonna write an email to Bruce and just ask if there's gonna be a Capital One coming out or what kind of the deal is with that for this year.
Right, and I think what I'm going to do, let me just make a note on this, guys. I'm also going to, project list is gonna go to, I'm gonna send it to Mo also, so she's aware that, that we do look at this annually, and it's something that's a living document. And, we know that we can't take care of everything all at once, but we gotta at least, if there are funds available, we need to come up with some plans to make improvements. And I would ask any board members, if there are new ideas, let's, just send them out and we'll get them on the list here. Because it's important. This is not Kurt Williams' list. It's the Board of Recreation's list. So where did we fall off on the signage improvement? I know the Boy Scouts started on that, or they haven't started on it.
They started and then something went wrong and they threw it out, and they're restarting it according to Nelson as soon as it gets torn out.
Okay. Do they need anything from us? Do they need dollars for materials or something? Or
They said they were all set at this point. Jim Welcome is working on kind of a little project himself right now for Walker Field. It's kind of going to be like the stand that we put in the playground with our bulletin board where we put all of our flyers to advertise.
Yep.
So one side of it is going to be our rules and regulations. So instead of having, if you ever go down like the park, you'd see like 17 different signs, one that says no smoking, one that says no bikes, one that says something else. So our thought process is to kind of consolidate all of that into one sign instead of having 17 different signs all over the place. The back side of it is going to be a cork board where we're going to be able to put up schedules. So if someone's down there and they want to know when's the next time Gilbert's playing or what day Legion's playing, they can look at the board and see what kind of the schedule is and what's going on at the park that day.
All right. And where's Jim going to put this, down at Walker, you said? In that area?
Yeah, we're gonna do it in the Walker area. And then
Oh.
depending on how it looks and how it works out, we might make them for like different areas as well.
And what
Just to
we're,
kind of consolidate all the rules, regulations, and that way people know what's going on around town. If someone wants to catch a baseball game or someone's in town or they having to catch their nephew's game, they can check the schedule of when's the next time they play home.
so it's going to be a rules regulation, kind of like an info center, a bulletin board.
Yeah, yep.
All right. Good idea. All right.
Is the court going to hold up outside?
Jim's making it with all like the wood and everything else to go outside, yeah.
And if Jim needs some Lexan or something, you have him come see me. We've got plenty of used Lexan for covering and everything at the plant. I could help him out on. So,
Okay,
I make-
and then we did get the glass, like, special glass from Connecticut Glass. So that way it can slide and we can move everything, and put all new information in on the bulletin, board side of it.
Right.
It's gonna be just like the one over at the playground building.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to visualize that one. It's been a while since I've been over there looking at that one. So it's good. All right. And then the last two items that we had here on kind of our A ranking that we did about 13 months, 14 months ago was, do we need some netting between the Little League field and the Dodge field? And then as I
That
mentioned,
is on capital for this year, so that is something that we do need to purchase.
all right,
So
so,
we need to see if it has to be exactly netting or if we can do what we talked about going over like the bench and the bleachers.
okay. So
There
I
is
don't,
dollar amount that is written in this year's capital, so that
All right.
needs to be spent before June.
the list here, I think, I don't remember where the number came from, but I think we have like $4,000 assigned to that roughly as an estimated cost. I'm not sure if that or not.
It was.
Correct,
It is.
yep.
All right. So we're gonna, that's going to, then I'll make a note that that's gonna happen in 2021 then.
Yeah,
We'll
that
have-
has to be purchased before June.
All right. Okay, good. And then,
We have to figure out as like kind of a board if we want to do some kind of netting or if we want to go with those the top for like the benches and stuff
The
as protection.
Yeah. all
yeah.
right, you want me to put that on the agenda for March?
Yeah, and I can attach pictures to it so everyone can see exactly the difference between the two.
All right, so the March agenda item will be, one of those items will be the netting or protection for the Little League and Dodge Field. Okay. Got that. Okay, and then as I said, we did complete the tennis court work that we had planned to do in 2020. I see people, I saw people down in the fall down there, playing.
We had people
yeah,
there
yeah.
pretty much until snow fell and we had to take the nets down.
Yeah, no, so,
One concern that Jim Welcome has there is the trees that are on the outside of the fence. I forget what they're called, pine needles maybe?
Yeah.
He wants a discussion about possibly removing those and putting in a different, like shrub or a different smaller tree. Because the issue is the pine needles are shedding so much. They're falling onto the court and they could become a huge safety issue.
okay. So I think we, at somewhere along here, we did put, not that specifically, but we did under B, that would fall under, an item that we had here is just basically general landscaping improvements.
Okay.
Kind of ranked at B. At that time, we were, we were talking, just general landscaping, and I think that's where that would fall under.
Mhm.
So,
So Jim's whole thing is it's pine needles, safety, it sheds an extremely lot and it is getting onto the courts.
Alright.
So his fear is that someone's gonna slip.
is he just considering the pine trees that are at the tennis courts, not the whole stretch?
Just at the tennis courts, yeah. He
Right.
wants to put in like a dogwood, he said.
All right, at tennis courts. All right. Could you, could we have Jim or have somebody get us a cost for taking that down and,
Yeah.
you know, can we get a quote on that at least? Once again, it may be, you
Yeah,
know,
and then I think that would have to get approved by Bob, and then it would have to also get approved by Jimmy Rollins as the
Yeah.
town's arborist
sure,
before
yeah,
we're allowed to just cut anything.
right. Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. I know that they're actually have marked a number of trees up at, around town, and they, actually up at, the, Manor Place playground, there's probably, 10 trees or so that are marked to be taken down. So up there, that's good. All right. So, as I mentioned to board members, I think, as I said, this project list is a living document. I'm going to make some notes on here. I'll send it back out to everybody. I am going to send in this document once I update it a bit more, to Bob Geiger and Melissa, and kind of stress to them that, we do discuss these. We are, we do, looking forward to, working with them, basically if there's money available or combination to move along with improvements. So, and as I mentioned, if there's something that, comes up, just as we just talked about with the trees here at the tennis courts, that's good conversation, and, that's the only way we're going to get stuff done. Any questions on the, project list as it stands right now?
Would it make sense to somehow focus on the projects that have safety factors involved? In other words, you were talking about, I think, the dugouts. If there are safety issues, should we be highlighting those to the
Well,
town to see if they'll throw some money at them?
Yeah, we kind of did last February with, when I sat with, Tanya and Bob, and we reviewed this list with him for the first time, and we kind of said, the dugouts, we don't understand that, we can't do two at a time, but we got to start someplace. So, and we did stress that was kind of on the safety side too. I mean, for a variety of reasons. One, you get water in them all the time. Two, you get hypodermic syringes and people sleeping in there, and they just need to be,
Well, that, and they're cracking.
secured,
They're
and
cracking.
they're cracking. So yeah. So I did, that was on our, I really emphasized, or we emphasized last year, if anything, from a budgeting process, if there was capital available and or a combination, I mean, is somehow we need to start on this. So that's going to be kind of my emphasis when I drop this note to Melissa and to Bob. Say, hey, once again, we reviewed it as a board. We want to make sure that as we're coming up again into the budget cycle, that at least discussed. It may not make the cut. I understand that. I just, as a side note, I kind of went on the town website today, and I looked at the FY20, what Bob recommended to the Board of Selectmen. There was a document in there, and we didn't make it, and I'm not making light of this at all, but he did recommend to spend $50,000 for windows at Soldiers Monument. Whether that stayed in the budget or not, that was his recommendation to the Board of Selectmen last year. So I feel very strongly that, if we're asking for, $40,000 to do one dugout, for safety purposes, I think it should have some merit there, one way or the other. So that's my opinion at this point. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Sean, and that's kind of when we went through this. If you remember, we kind of, identified some things on safety. We kind of had those already put up on A for the vast majority of them. So, all right. So anything else on the project list at this point? Okay. Kind of move to item 10 here, which is old business. Does anybody want to talk anything about it on their old business? I didn't have anything specifically. So nothing there, and we didn't have anything under new business. Anyone brought up in the agenda. So I'm assuming there's nothing.
I'm gonna actually add 3 things for new business for next month's.
Okay, you want to let me know what they are now, and so I already.
Yeah, I want to just start discussing East End Park.
Okay, East End Park, okay,
Kind of how it's just no one knows who's in charge of what, how they want us to start charging, but we don't know. I do have one person that did send us a usage form. Power Up Winstead, person's out of Manchester, Connecticut, and they're asking to use East End Park on June 26th from 1 to 4 to demonstrate dancing, music, educational information, and would be bringing speakers and art supplies. So this is kind of a classic thing. Is this something that we charge for? I mean, they're out of Manchester. I mean, so I don't know where we really stand or what we really want to do with East End Park. So I think we should have a solid conversation to start moving forward and having a policy if we want to have a policy.
okay.
Are they making money on it? Is there any benefit to them? Is that why they want it?
I mean, it's free advertisement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're from Winstead,
Right.
So, I mean, but then we do get groups that will want to do like little fairs, and they'll get money. Everyone will get money. So do we charge for something like that? Because they're all making money, should the town make money type thing.
Okay.
So that's one thing I want to really talk about next month. Another thing is I am part of a group now. I forget what it's called. It's on my other computer. Basically, it is a group from Torrington and Winstead. The group is myself, Jen Kelly, which is the senior director, the recreation director in Winstead, basically directors from like different parts of Winstead and Torrington, and they get grants and money for programs such as like healthy habits and walking trails. So one big thing the group is doing right now is working with the DEP to kind of do walking trails throughout Winstead. One of it being Mad River Walkway, the whole like old Route 8 down going towards Norfolk. So they're looking for more members. It meets once a month on Zoom. So I kind of want to reach out to everyone here to see if anyone was or is interested in joining to kind of help build Winstead. I know Torrington, they get the most of it. They do programs, it's funded. They are adding walking trails. I think getting more people involved from the Winstead part of it will help us out. They talk about like Sue Grossman trails and what the plans are there, how to make things better. They're trying to add walking trails behind like Highland Lake where Third Bay is. That's going to connect to like Burr Pond. So those things could end up one day that the recreation department is responsible for cleaning, or we can do activities there and so forth. So I wanted to throw it out there. They're looking for more members. If anyone wanted to join, you can just email me or send me a text message if anyone is. Like I said, one of the big things is Mad River right now. I did have a gentleman reach out to me that just put in, his name is Aaron. He is out of Canton. He just put in a huge disc golf course for Torrington. And he's interested in putting one in Winstead. We'd get volunteers to help like kind of landscape it. We would buy like the equipment. He would come up with the design and everything else. And then we could offer more like basically free programs here in town. So he's gonna join that next meeting on February 25th to kind of throw out his idea. If anybody wants to attend, just let me know. But what are people's thoughts about like disc golf or other areas that we could do something like that?
It's pretty popular. I got people I work with that are into it. just real estate wise, do we have enough space to support that?
Well, his thought is Mad River. So that
Okay.
is owned by the state and the Army Corp, but they can't like maintain it. So this board that I'm on now is talking to them about like doing walk trails. We would just have to kind of pick up garbage and like do small things.
Right. I think if some of the board members remember, a number of years ago, Joe Canavo came to us at a board meeting and had broached the subject around this disc golf up at the Dry Dam area. So that may be, Joe may be somebody that may be interested in this. He actually brought it to the board a number of years ago. So I may ask him to if he's interested in that or not at this point in too, Tanya. Okay, so I'm gonna hear about Joe Canavo because he actually came to one of our board member meetings. You remember that, Diane and Kurt?
Yeah, I
I
remember.
think so, yeah, vaguely,
It was a couple years ago, wasn't it?
It
yeah.
was at least a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Was
Right.
it before me? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
was.
maybe it was, and I'm pretty sure Joe was trying to gather some interest at the time for up at the Dry Dam. Wasn't
Yeah,
that?
it was a dry dam.
I think so. So I'll ask Joe if I see him, or I'll drop him a note. Has anyone seen Joe late? Is he around town still? I'm assuming he is. So I haven't seen him lately, but I'll see if I can get in touch with him. Okay, so you had those two items. Did you have a third item, Tanya, that you wanted to talk about? Under new business?
That was it. No,
That was
that was it. Yeah, that was
Fine.
it. Just two.
Good. All right. All right. We'll kind of go around the group at this point in time. Any closing? Diane, you have anything you want to talk about?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, everyone's good at the household. That's good.
We're good, yeah.
Everyone's healthy. That's good. Sean, how about you?
Quick question, going over the notes from last meeting, there was a mention here about a potential new member. Did anything come of that?
Yeah, I'm still having some discussions with the individual. Haven't gotten a firm, but you know what? That's a good point, Sean. I forgot to put that in my chairman's report, but yes, if anyone does know of somebody who would be interested in joining the board, let's get that out. Once
Do you want me
again,
to post it on Facebook on our recreation site?
yes, if
Okay.
you would, yeah. That's is communicate that out. That's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Sean.
Is Brian still on or did he resign?
I
Brian,
haven't heard from Brian. I know he said
I
he
just
couldn't.
saw him, he said he thought he would join the Zoom meeting, but he didn't know if he had the right stuff. But, so I didn't know if he was still on or not.
Well, Diane, were you just before you came on? I think Tanya mentioned that she had sent somebody some Zoom information, but she wasn't sure who it was. Maybe it was Brian trying to get
No, it
on.
was me. I thought
Oh,
I tracked my email.
No, you didn't even write who it was or anything. I was like, I don't know who I'm talking to.
Oh, so I thought my name would be on when I did it, but that
No,
one
it was
didn't work
just it was
anyway.
just a phone number.
Oh, it didn't work anyway, and I did find the one, because
Okay.
for some reason, I did find the invitation, because I couldn't get on that way anyway.
No, but
But,
let's all reach out, communicate out. If there's people who are interested in joining the board, then yeah, I mean, we need to do that. We sometimes we struggle to get a quorum, and and as we've mentioned before, we're allowed, between 9 and 13 members. So
right.
we're right at the lower end at this point. So, okay, good. Sean, anything else on your end?
No, well, good.
Good. Everything else is good with you. Kurt Root?
Yeah, I'm good. Just keeping busy with basketball and, around the house. So,
See
So
how,
can I ask you a question, Kurt?
yeah.
So Gilbert had mentioned to me that they do not want outsiders inside the school and how it's going to be completely private, members only. So are all games away, or how are games being facilitated at Gilbert if they're supposedly not allowing anyone inside their school?
So right now we have a scrimmage Friday against Litchfield at home. Next week, I know we have 2 games at home. Hoosie, I forget who the next one is, and then we're away at regional. The kids I know can have one parent come to the games, and other than that, no fans and things like that. But yeah, no, I think it's a 12-game season.
Okay. So what is everyone's intake on that? If we're being told that no outsiders are allowed in, we can't run any programs that are Winstead kids, but they're allowing other schools in.
Yeah, that's I don't know what they're doing with that. We just have our basketball rules and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. And I heard Pearson also isn't letting anybody in either, right?
I didn't
Well-
even reach out to Melanie, to be honest with you.
Well, are they playing the middle school games at Pearson, Kurt?
No, that's why I heard they didn't even have middle school. They wouldn't even let Gilbert have middle school. They weren't allowed.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
Gil-
think she's completely locked down.
Yeah, they're locked out completely.
well, so
Oh,
7th and 8th graders girls and boys do not have a season this year.
Nope, they have enough kids. They're not allowed.
And
No.
I'm just kind of curious, maybe what is regional doing? Or
That I don't know, but I did, I heard other kids talk about regional was practicing and doing all the other stuff. They were actually conditioning before the season. So
yeah, okay, good. All right.
Tanya, I wonder if they're not allowing men's leagues and things like that because the schools are all pretty much following the same rules as far as COVID. They can kind of control that, where they couldn't really control a men's league. Just a thought.
Right, but I'm saying like for our kids, like say if we wanted to have like our league.
So you have a rec league, but then you have homeschoolers who may not be following guidelines within the schools. I don't know. I'm just throwing things
Right.
out there. I have no idea.
Right, but then you have schools that are not following things or in school,
Mhm.
so it's just kind of contradicts itself a little bit
Difficult.
because you're allowing outsiders inside your school regardless of the fact.
Mhm.
yeah, because we got a
So
game.
why is
like,
it good enough for them but not for us, kind of, Because come
Yeah.
springtime, they're gonna want to use all of our fields and all of our restrooms. And do we kind of put our foot down and say, "Well, our restrooms are for our programs. You need to rent a porta potty," Because I mean, that's kind of where they're going with this is we can't use your school because we're outsiders, but outsiders can come in. So we want them using the same things that like youth baseball is going to be using, or do we want to protect it just to youth baseball because that's our program and that's our focus?
Good questions.
Yeah.
Do you want me
yeah,
to make
I don't know.
the item for next month, or do we already have enough on for next month?
No, I'm just
Well, no,
saying, because I mean, we want to focus, obviously, our main focus is going to be recreation and
Right. I
keeping
agree.
those bathrooms clean for our kids
Yeah, no, it's-
versus their kids.
Yeah, I mean, it is hypocritical. I know what you're saying because we're having a scrimmage against Litchfield, and one of those kids has COVID. They basically just shut the school down. Where
Right.
we go up there with a program that's all in town people. I guess I get the risk that that program could shut the school down, but like you said, they're letting other teams that you have no idea what their history is and all that stuff. So it's like hypocritical in a way.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's a very good point, and thanks. That's good. Some good dialogue going there. It is not a perfect world, as we all know. Okay. From my
Well, let's put it on the agenda for next
Yeah.
month of how we want to go forward with spring programs and bathrooms and our space, because
Yeah, who knows when
Or-
everybody gets the vaccines, this will go away. I don't know.
right, but that's not
knows?
going to be for a long time. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, people are going to start sending us schedules for spring programs, and we
Yep.
need to kind of know what our guidelines are going to be and how we're going to maintain our facilities,
Yeah.
especially
I-
restrooms.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. It's going to be, it's a new world out there, and we just need to keep open communication on, what makes good sense here for safety purposes. But definitely, I agree. This is not even with the vaccines, it's not going to go away. I mean, we anticipate, you still, if you're working there, you're going to be wearing a mask more than likely. Do temperature scans. I just don't see that going away soon at all. Okay. All right. So I'm good on my end. My twin grandsons are back in town, so we're starting to spend a lot of time with them. So having a lot of fun with them. Other than that, I'll take a motion to adjourn here from somebody at 8:10 who wants to make that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Kim, thank you very much. Is there
I'll
a
second,
second? Was by
I'll
who?
second, Diane.
Diane, thank you very much. And we will plan to do another Zoom meeting on March. We will be meeting, what's the first Wednesday in March look like here? What's the date
March
here?
3rd.
March 3rd? All right. But we will plan to Zoom again March 3rd, and we're getting a little bit better at it. So appreciate everyone's time here tonight. And then, as we just mentioned, if you know anybody who may be interested in becoming a board member, let's start getting that process moving along if at all possible. Okay.
Okay,
right.
sounds good.
Thank you, everybody, and appreciate
Good
it.
night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night,
Yeah.
I
Good
see you
night.
guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
night.